Hey guys, it's Kaylee from K-Books and this is it. 2013 is almost over and each year I tend to take part in the top 10 of whatever year, so it'll be top 10 of 2013 this year. It's hosted by Two Chicks and Books and I usually just do blog posts, but I thought this year I'd do some vlogs for it. So there's going to be a little vlog with my top 10 posts each day this week, so look out for them. So the first topic is the top 10 books of 2013. So this is my top 10 favourite books of the year. So a few I've got to show you, but a few I read on ebook, so I don't have the physical copies, but I'll add pictures in. So my number 10 was Crash Into You by Katie McGarry. This is the third book in the Pushing the Limit series, and we finally got Asaya's story. I read Dare You To, which was the second one this year as well, but I absolutely loved Crash Into You. It's not my favourite of the series. Pushing the Limit still remains my favourite, but we got to see hints of Echo and Noah in this one as well, so that made it just amazing. I love Katie's books, they're fantastic. So yeah, that had to make my top 10 list. Number 9 is Foreplay by Sophie Jordan. I read this as an ARC, as you can probably see, and this is the first book in the Ivy Chronicles series. It's a new adult contemporary romance and I loved it. It's funny, it's romantic, it's sexy, it's everything you want in a contemporary book, and I loved it. I love Sophie Jordan's books. I've read her YA Firelight series, which I loved. So when I heard she was doing the NA series, I knew I had to read it and I absolutely loved it. It's definitely one of my favourite books of the year. It was amazing. Number 8 is Reclaimed by Sarah Guillory. This is a young adult contemporary romance. I had a very big contemporary year this year, and this has such a massive twist in it that you just don't see coming at all. I think there was a point in this book where I was just like, oh my god, no way. That it always stayed with me, the story stayed with me, always stuck in my head. So when I came to thinking about what books to put in my top 10, this automatically came to mind because of how fantastically written it is. The story is phenomenal. Everything about this book is just incredible. Number 7 was an ebook I read, so I don't have the physical copy, and it was The Darkest Part by Trisha Wolfe. I absolutely love Trisha Wolfe. I have since I first read her novella that she self-published years ago, and The Darkest Part was her first go of doing a new adult contemporary, and it was fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely adored it. It's one of my favourite books and I've already read it 3 times this year, so it just had to make my top 10. It's just amazing. It has everything. It has adventure, it has romance, it even has a bit of psychology in there. So for those who know, I have a degree in psychology, so I absolutely adore seeing them psycho aspects in books, and The Darkest Part definitely had that. Number 6 is one that I really finished recently, and it's Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson. This is a retelling of Peter Pan, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved this. It's told from Tinkerbell's perspective, which I loved, so it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I loved this, and I would definitely suggest this to everybody. Anybody who loves fairy tales, Tiger Lily is a must. Number 5 is Sweet Peril by Wendy Higgins. This is the second book in the Sweet trilogy, and it just had to make my top 5. It's amazing. Caden's amazing. I just loved everything about this book. I am dying to get my hands on the last one in the trilogy. Wendy Higgins is fast becoming one of my favourite authors. I just love her to pieces. She is amazing. So if you haven't read this series, you must read it now. It was fantastic. Number 4, I don't have. It was an e-arc that I got, and it was The Testing by Joelle Charbonneau. This is the first in a young adult dystopian series, and it is fantastic. It had everything that I ever wanted in a dystopian series. I devoured it. I have also read the second book in the series, which is fantastic as well. But The Testing Stay is my favourite just because you get all of that introduction to the characters, and it's so fantastic. I am obsessed with that series. It's amazing. Number 3 is Hover by Melissa West, and this is the second book in her Taking series. This is a young adult sci-fi, and it's about aliens, and it's set in space, and it's so cool. I beta-read this book for Melissa way before it came out, and I was just obsessed with it. And Melissa is definitely one of my favourite authors in the world. I adore her, and I am dying to get my hands on the third Taking novel. This has everything in it. I love it. I have a random bookmark in there. I just love everything about this book. It's one of my favourite series of all time, and it's one that I reread over and over and over again. Number 2 is another ebook, and it was Unhinged by A.G. Howard. This is the second book in her Splintered series, and it is a retelling of Alice in Wonderland. I love this series. I came late to the series. The first one came out in January, and I read it only about a month or two ago, and just fell in love with it. I'm not a huge fan of the Alice in Wonderland original fairy tale, so I didn't really I wanted to read it, but I didn't know how much I would like it, and it blew me away. It is utterly fantastic, and Unhinged, which comes out in January, is even better. I just could not stop reading. I absolutely adored it, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the third one, even though it's over a year until it comes out. And number 1 is Sentinel by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the conclusion to the Covenant series, and it was just perfect. It was utter perfection. The way Jen wrapped everything up was phenomenal. I just adored every moment of it. I laughed, I cried, I screamed. It's just such an emotional roller coaster, and those books that bring those emotions out in me always stick with me as the best ones. And even though I'm heartbroken this series is over, I just loved Sentinel. It's absolutely my favourite book of the year. It was fantastic. So that's it for today. Join me tomorrow for my top 10 covers of 2013. Thanks for watching. Bye!